Well, good morning, and we're out again. Not so much for a walk today. The forecast for today was fairly clear skies, and don't know whether that's going to materialise. So I thought, what's a good idea when there's clear skies? So I thought about waterfalls. So I've actually entitled this video "How to Photograph Waterfalls." Not that I'm an expert, but what the idea is to take various shutter speeds with and without, polariser, etc. so we can show the results, so people can get an idea of what they like, of what to them makes a good waterfall, or good waterfall picture, should I say. So we've come to, there's a sign here about Stockghyll Woods, and we've come to Stockghyll Force, or well, when we get there, and literally it's on the outskirts of Ambleside. So you've seen from the B-roll me walking through Ambleside to get to the what I call the road going up towards the falls, or the force. So I mean that's the plan for today. I've entitled it "How to Photograph Waterfalls." I'm not an expert, but what I want to do is show you the various options and what the results are, and then you can decide which ones you prefer, because it is subjective. So, and I'd just like to remind people, if they like the video, please click the thumbs up, which is very important for the channel. And if you certainly, if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. We are growing slowly, so hopefully one or two of you from this video will subscribe and we'll grow a little bit more. And the main thing I'd ask people to do is please comment. Comment if you like things, comment if you don't like things, comment if you've got any questions, be it with a particular video, or be it about the Lake District or landscape photography in general. So yeah, or comment if you think there's anywhere particularly like me to go to do a video. So yeah, please comment, and I do reply to all comments, even if it's just a thank you. So right, we'll carry on and I'll see you a bit later. Right, so we've made it to the main falls, and we're on, as we look up at them, on the left hand side of the gill. As you can see, the falls there, although there is some lower falls there, and then the river runs down, but there is, I don't know whether you can see through the trees there, or maybe highlight it on the video. There's a bit of a platform on the other side, and you can see up there there's a bit of a bench where you might get a look down on the thing. So having got here, I'm just going to have I mean, the first thing about taking any picture is working out the composition. I'm not really feeling it from this particular spot. So yeah, we're just going to have a wander around, see if we can come up with a composition, and then we'll be back with you. Right, well, we've come off the main path down what appeared to be a path, and then I was beginning to doubt it. But yeah, there may be steps that we've come down. and we can see, if we could look down there, there's the river. But what I did come across is this little fence. So it's obviously meant to come down here, although it's a bit sketchy getting down. And we've got a view of half of the waterfall, so if we look around there, you can see you've got one side. It's not the best view, but we'll capture a number of images here just to show what the differences make. And then I think we maybe need to be either right up there to have a look, or there is a platform over there. So yeah, we'll take some shots. I mean, if you look at the back of the camera briefly before I start capturing the images, you'll see that the standard 800 ISO f11, and we've got 0.8 of a second, although the light will vary. I mean, the other problem here, we're getting the spray right at us, so we'll capture one or two images here at different shutter speeds, etc., with and without the polarizer, and then we'll maybe go up. There is a bridge up at the top and down to the other side, and see if we can find some better compositions. So anyway, we'll put the images up after here, and I'll maybe when I get home I'll comment on them on the video. So we'll see you a bit later. And now we start to see the images, starting with the fastest shutter speed on this occasion, a 20th of a second, and then as we go over we see now coming to a slightly slower shutter speed, and a 1/5 of a second, and we get the more milky look, and we get the more smoother look, and as we go to 0.4 of a second it's even smoother. In this situation I didn't take that many different ones, and now we'll go over back to the slow shutter speed but with the polarizing filter, and we'll go through the 3 images again. The polarizing filter gets rid of some of the glare, which I like, also enhances the greens particularly, which is applicable to this situation. And yeah, I don't know which you prefer. It'd be great if you'd comment. And there we get the slowest shutter speed with the polarizer. And now we're going through what I regard as my favourite image of these, which is with the polarizer, because that's what I prefer. And normally I like it quite a slow shutter speed, but on this occasion I've gone for the 1/5 of a second, which to me just gives me that right balance between the over smooth, over milky. Right, we'll now come around the other side of the waterfall, and there was 2 or 3 options. Just up there was the seat, you could see, and down that way there was the platform going out. None of them are ideal. I just felt that we're coming here, you're not too high looking down too much, but you can see most of the falls. I mean, going round you would see more, but then you're going higher and getting close and having to look down more. Going down that way, you're going round to the left, and then you lose in the left hand side of the falls. So yeah, so we've got the camera here, so we'll just quickly show you. We'll put the video on. I'll just flip this round. Yeah, so let's put the hat the right way around. So there you can see basically we've got the waterfalls in the middle, the one coming down that side and the one down the right hand side, meeting more or less in the middle, and then we've got them coming out there. So it's a very difficult composition to try and to master. like lots of things. Probably a drone, getting the drone out, but there's too many trees about for me. I would be frightened of hitting the trees. So yeah, that might make a good shot. But anyway, that's the composition. What we're going to go through, like at the last one, is various shutter speeds with and without the polariser. The polariser is actually on at the moment, I think. I haven't checked that. Let's just look round. Yeah, we can see, if we look there, the polariser's on at the moment. We'll take it off for the first few shots, then do similar speeds with the polariser on, and then I will talk put them up and talk through them on the video once I get back home and I've got them processed. So anyway, that's the current composition. We'll capture a few images down here, and then depending on time, as we go down, there's maybe two or three other nice places where we might be able to get reasonable images. So we'll see you a bit later. Right, at this composition I managed to be a bit more organised and did a more variety of images. And we've seen the first one, which has just gone over at 125th of a second, so quite slow, so you can see the formation of the water. And then going to the 25th of a second, where it's starting to get slightly more smooth, and then the 5th of a second, when we start to particularly get the smoothness, and as we go into a half a second, it is extremely smooth. Yeah, it's and as we go to a full second, I don't know whether there's much difference between the half a second and the full second. And at 2 seconds, again, I think once you get to half a second, extending the exposure doesn't make a huge amount of difference. And now we see we've gone back to 125th of a second with the polarizer, so we get the enhanced greens and less glare. I must admit, this particular composition, there's not an awful lot of wet rocks, etc., to give that glare back. So although it enhances the greens, the getting rid of the glare is not as impactful on this particular composition as on others. But again, we're now back to the half a second, and as we see, as we get even slower, the impact of the extra time is not as marked as earlier on. So my advice would be go up to a maximum of a second or even 2 seconds, but no longer. And I think it depends on the speed of the water. The water was coming down pretty quick on this occasion. I think when you've got a slower water, it maybe has more impact. And now we're just going through the one which again is my favourite of these, and it's the same as the last one, 1/5 of a second, and with the polarizer, because to me that just sums up what looks like a good waterfall. Right, we're making our way back towards the car park and the van. There's plenty of time. I've come across this, I did see it on the way down, but I wanted to get to the main fall. This scene here, you can see there's people on the path up there, and then there's like a bridge over with the water coming through. Although there is a path down here that goes along there to a bridge to cross over the gill. So I just quite liked it. I mean, if we look on the back of the camera, you'll see I'm aiming to do a square crop, and I've got a polarizing filter on, and it's ending up even at f8, it's 0.8 of a second. So we'll take that. We'll take maybe slightly different shutter speeds, but on this occasion, for this one, I'm literally just going to put what I think is the best up on the video after that, and then there's certainly one more spot I want to stop at on the way down. So anyway, we'll see you a bit later. Right, we've come a bit further down the river and there's this, I suppose it's more a weir man-made rather than natural, but it's a very different sort of waterfall to the previous, the big one. So I think it's a good one to do the same again, to take various shutter speeds and with and without the polariser. If I come back slightly, it's a bit difficult because the ground is very uneven here. See, there's the camera. So you'll see the composition we've got. We've got the 24 to 70 on, and we're zoomed in almost to 70. It's a bit difficult because you can see there's this tree here, so we've got low and I'm trying to avoid most of the tree. There's a bit of it in, but I think it'll make quite a good composition. I'm shooting at the standard 2x3, but if necessary I could just make it a letterbox type of shot. We'll see how it comes out, but as I say, we'll take numerous shots at different shutter speeds, see what effect it has on the water, with and without the polariser, to see what effect that has. So yeah, we'll get on and do that, and then we'll put the different images up and talk through them on the video when I get home and have processed them. I'll talk through them again. So right, we'll get on and we'll see you a bit later. Right, well, here we now have the images, and as with the previous composition, we're starting at 125th of a second. But this is a very different composition, and I think the effects are slightly different. As we get the shutter speed getting slightly slower, we do get the more smoothness. And I did take quite a few quite long shutter speeds, but as I say, here we've gone now to 0.4 of a second, and we're starting to get the ribbons, and as we go into 0.8 there's not a lot of marked difference. So there's even slower shutter speeds I haven't put up, because as I said before, I think it gets to the point where increasing the shutter speed doesn't actually make that much difference. But now on this one, as we go to with the polariser filter on, we do get the enhancing of the green, but in the middle of the picture where we've got the darker water, getting rid of the glare does make more of a difference. There's more glare on this particular composition than there was on the others, and I just feel personally that it makes it look better, that there's not that glare, that you see the darkness of the water, or depending on your angle, be able to see through the water. So to me that makes a much better picture, that you get the darkness and the silkiness, and to me it just sums it up. So as here we go through what I've regarded as my favourite of this image of this particular composition, I just think it's quite a good composition, and I think it looks good. And as we come through, we'll see that again I've gone for the polariser, that I like the darkness, the getting rid of the glare, and on this occasion 0.4 of a second, which is not that much different from the 1/5 of a second on the previous compositions. Right, well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. We've taken captured all the images we're going to do, and we're on our way back to the van now. Yeah, I thought I'd just do something a bit different. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. What I particularly like to ask you to do on any of the images where I've done different shutter speeds, could you please, it'd be much appreciated if you'd comment on which ones you prefer. I mean, the whole point of this video was to see the effect of different shutter speeds, the effect of the polariser, and not to say this is how you take a picture of a waterfall, but here's some hints that if you like the Millcliff flow, you need a shutter speed of round about, or if you don't like that and you want to almost still the water, you need a lot higher shutter speed. I mean, today there was a problem, it's in a bit of a gorge, so there wasn't an awful lot of light, so higher shutter speed, really high shutter speeds were not really possible, because I didn't want to push the ISO too high. So yeah, it would be much appreciated if people can do that, because I know I personally like the more milky smooth, whereas my wife doesn't. She likes it the high shutter speed, where you can actually see the water rather than just this blur that you get with the long shutter speed. So please comment if you've enjoyed the video, please click the thumbs up, and certainly if you like what I'm doing, yeah, please subscribe. I try and put them out once on a Sunday, 5 o'clock on a Sunday UK time. So this one will be coming out, this is Friday, so hopefully it'll be done and out on Sunday. What the next one will be, I don't know. Hopefully we'll get some reasonable weather, I can get a nice walk up into the fells and that. But just a bit more limited today time wise, and I thought with blue sky, Waterfalls made a sense. And never actually been here. I just searched Google for waterfalls in Cumbria, and this was one that came up that I'd never been to before, so hence we came here, and it was certainly well worth coming. There's various options. Maybe next time I'll try and find some waterfalls I haven't been to before again. So anyway, if you've watched the video to the bitter end here, thank you very, very much, and we'll see you on the next video.